Thank you for tuning in to Newsflash, brought to you by ClassicCars.com, the show where I bring you the car news from the week prior so you can one-up your friends when you see them at Cars and Coffee. I'm your host, Jeff Sutton, and today we have a variety of topics to discuss, including some new cosmetic options from Mopar. We have the world's first Hyper SUV from Lotus, and we have some new cars from Rolls-Royce, Cadillac, and some more news from Las Vegas. Stay tuned. So Dodge has offered some new cosmetic options. Specifically, they have teamed up with CG Graphics to produce a design inspired by the 1970 Plymouth Cuda Rapid Transit paint scheme, in which there was a 1970 Cuda with a bunch of different colors over it. This one specifically will feature 14 of the current high-impact colors in the Mopar lineup, and this is a wrap that will be featured specifically for the Dodge Challenger. Dodge says that this will work on every vehicle, every Challenger from 2008 and up, including the wide body cars. Now, if you're asking yourself, how much does this cost? Pricing comes in at $3,700, which is without installation. So that is just the price of the wrap, which comes with the 14 colors, wraps over the side of the car, and then you will have to get it installed from somewhere yourself. So keep that in mind if you decided to go that route and purchase the wrap. You do have to pay for installation separately. Revealed in a long press video recently, Lotus has unveiled their new all-electric SUV, the Electra, that Lotus is calling the first Hyper SUV. Now, where does this come from, you might ask? Well, Lotus says that two-door sports cars are not for everyone, and they want the Lotus brand to be part of everyone's lifestyle. So they're branching into the SUV market. Of course, you know, this had to be coming eventually, but the Electra is available in 3 different trim models. We have the Electra, Electra S, and the Electra R, which is the top mode, and also the only mode that comes with track mode available, which is pretty interesting. In terms of what you can expect from performance and setup, they are all powered by a dual motor all-wheel drive setup, which is pretty stereotypical for electric cars these days, especially electric SUVs. And from a performance standpoint, the standard cars will be available with 603 horsepower, and the Hyper version, or the R, will be available with 905 horsepower and a 0 to 60 in just 2.95 seconds, which is very fast indeed. We don't have all of the information, details, and specs, and we know that they'll be coming to sale in Europe first. We don't know anything about US pricing, but if we do the conversions, we do know that the lowest base MSRP for the car comes out to about $84,500 US. So that's what you got to look forward to. Maybe expect it to be a little bit higher. We don't really know until it actually comes to the US market, but pretty interesting to say the least, a performance SUV from Lotus. Next, we have a brand new car from Rolls-Royce. It's called the Rolls-Royce Spectre, which makes me instantly think of James Bond, but this is their all-electric vehicle, and it's moving towards a all-electric future for Rolls-Royce. They said the entire portfolio will be all-electric by 2030, which really makes sense for the brand. Obviously, Rolls-Royce is all about luxury, comfort, and being able to make the car as quiet as possible, which of course is possible with the power of electricity. Now, what we do know is this will be a dual motor setup, and it will have over 500 horsepower with about 644 foot-pounds of torque. So of course that's needed to move what is most likely to be a pretty heavy car. Now, we don't have a ton of details and specs all about the car. Of course, estimated pricing is going to be somewhere around $400,000, and Rolls-Royce has mentioned that the fuel range should be estimated around 260 miles, but we don't have the specifics on the battery, weight, anything like that we would really need. Just the initial spy shots, sort of previews from Rolls-Royce to really see what the car's going to look like. I think it looks pretty good. We'll just have to see how everything comes as we get more information. Next is a brand new vehicle from Cadillac called the Cadillac Celestiq. If you hadn't heard about this thing already, this is a $300,000 luxury vehicle. It's going to be electric, it's going to be all-wheel drive, and even comes through sort of standard expected luxuries at that price point, like rear-wheel steer, and of course it'll have adaptive air ride control as well. Now, supposedly at that price, all of these vehicles will be personally commissioned per vehicle with a staggeringly large variety of colors per Cadillac. So that's pretty exciting. We can expect it to have about 600 horsepower with 640 pound-feet of torque. The estimated range for this vehicle is going to be about 300 miles off of one charge, so we'll just have to see how that performs. It seems to be pretty good range. It's a pretty large vehicle, and of course it has a ton of luxury options, and this is supposed to be one of the first most modifiable Cadillacs, and it's pretty interesting to see them price a car this high. Obviously, they're clearly trying to get a market share of that high-priced Rolls-Royce Bentley playground for luxury automobiles. Moving on to our Las Vegas news, if you hadn't seen it on YouTube already, Ken Block had released their Electricana video featuring their Audi S1 Hunatron, which is an all-wheel drive, crazy horsepower monster where he drifts it through the streets of Las Vegas, including spending most of his time on the main part of the strip, which is super interesting. Obviously, they shut everything down for it. It's a fun video, of course. If you like the other previous Gymkhana videos, I would definitely suggest checking it out. Lots of tire smoke. It's a ton of fun to watch with some of the new partnership stuff with Audi. But speaking of Las Vegas, you know who else is going to be in Las Vegas? We are. We're going to be there for SEMA, so make sure you get subscribed and smash that like button, as we're going to be producing more content from SEMA from the weeks coming with the event. So you're not going to want to miss all that content, I can promise you that. But that is also the end of the news. So if you're interested in checking out any of these articles for yourself, we post the links down below so you can go and read them if you'd like. And definitely feel free to let us know in the comment section which video was your favorite. And like I said earlier, smash that like button. Don't forget to get subscribed, as we release these every week. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.